Hey, I just wanted to add an additional note to this video towards the beginning here. If you've read my submission for my Teacher of the Year essays, you know I did things a little bit differently. I feel strongly that if my teaching practices are sound, that should be reflected in what the students and teachers and administration in our schools see. So instead of doing a lot of talking through this video, I've kind of set it up here so that you see hopefully my practices reflected based on what other people think of how I'm doing my job, as opposed to me just saying what my ideologies would be. Thank you and enjoy. My name is Shane Berry. I'm a science teacher at Athens Drive High School. I'm also the varsity swim coach. I teach AP Physics 1 and 2, Honors Physics, STEM Physics, and the STEM Capstone Senior Project class.
Mr. Berry works with students in his class to form relationships with them. I believe he has a good rapport with his students. He gives them opportunities to be themselves, to take risks, to challenge themselves. I believe he works with them to on more of a one-on-one basis. I think that instead of it being, Mr. Berry versus the class, it's very Mr. Berry and individual students, because I believe he works really hard to give them some one-on-one feedback, a lot of support, whether it be in the classroom, outside the classroom. He is one of the most supportive teachers here at this school, as his role as teacher, his role as coach, and then just for the kids in life in general and school in general.
Berry has impacted my high school both inside and outside of the classroom. He's helped me out a lot in both AP Physics 1 and the STEM Capstone classes, as well as helping me outside of the class with advice that I would need about certain situations as well.
Mr. Berry's simplified classes like physics and capstone, something that seems very complicated, but has made it so that you kind of get to work in your own way while also following the curriculum, so it's really free but constructive.
Mr. Berry gives his students frequent opportunity to be creative in his classroom through the ways he creates assignments and the ways that those assignments can be turned in. He does things from multimedia presentations to posters to your big scientific posters to presentations as well as spoken presentation. So I think it gives them such a way to be creative because it's not the same type of assignment, paper, pencil all the time.
Berry's style of teaching, he cares more about each student individually. So he when he's going through notes, he does little anecdotes in between his teaching to keep the students engaged because he cares about how the students are, make sure they're learning it.
Mr. Berry does have a reputation around school. I think he's known as being kind of the fun teacher, the cool guy. He really interacts with his students. People just know him. They know Mr. Berry.
He's served as sort of the model teacher in that he's always approachable. So a lot of times, teachers might feel like they're a bit too old to talk to students on a personal level, but not Mr. Berry. He's approachable personally and academically.
So I believe there's a multitude of ways that Mr. Berry uses his classroom differently than the rest of the school to aid in student learning. He, first of all, builds such good relationships with his students, and I believe that creates a classroom culture where they're willing to take risks, they're willing to try new things, even if they may fail at them the first time. I believe he is also great at the real world application. He is consistently bringing in community members, community partners such as NC State, other places in RTP. He's taking students out on field trips to those places. So they're really seeing the why behind what they're doing in that real world application that I think students long for, because they want to see, why am I doing this? Where am I going to use that? And I think he does a great job, which really helps their learning because they're excited about it and they want to do it.